everybody. It's Nicole Johnson Starr in the PTSD Retreat radio talk show. I am in a weird mood because I just relayed to a friend of mine an experience that I had today. And I just want to let you guys know right now I'm waiting for Kevin to get on, and just, it's not his fault, it's mine tonight. I've been talking to a friend who had a rough day today, and just providing a little friend love on the phone. Not in that way. Get your mind out of the gutter. No, just spending some time with her, giving her some assistance as she goes through a tough time. And to my sis, I love you very, very much. And anyway, just wanted to let you guys know we're running a little behind because I'm waiting for Kevin to get off whatever he's doing so he can get on here. And while I'm waiting, I'm going to go ahead and let you know we are going to turn Kevin and I's Tuesday nights into its own show. And if you noticed, I labeled this Two Whackos and Pie. It's actually going to be Two Whackos and Key Lime Pie. Is going to be the name of that show, and it's just going to be the two of us. And as you guys have heard before on our YouTube presentation where we've had the uncut editions, where you had the background and everything else, you know that it is going to be absolutely insane. Because it's Kevin, and Kevin is insane. So you definitely want to go ahead and it's still going to be Tuesday nights. It's still going to be 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but we are going to be doing it in its own private show, so that way you can actually have all of Kevin and Nick's all in one location, and you get to hear us, Two Wackos. And we'll talk about PTSD, life as soldiers. Tonight we're going to have fun because we're going to discuss BCGs. But, just memories, and it's just going to be two soldiers, and there isn't a time when military people get together, especially buddies, where fun things just don't happen. Yeah, I don't know. I've never heard of a time when there was not something fun happening with military who just reconnect. And so that's what we'll be doing. We'll be reconnecting every week on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. on the Two Wackos and Key Lime Pie show. So, stay tuned. Let's get Kevin on here because Kevin needs to get on the radio, and I don't know what's keeping him so long. So I will keep calling, and that's what you're hearing in the background. I'm calling him, and it drops. So he may be having some problems. Now remember, Kevin is not here in the U.S. Kevin is actually over in the Philippines. So sometimes we have storms that interrupt. If you recall, there was one Tuesday night, where it was completely missed because Kevin was in the middle of a typhoon. And, yeah, that definitely does affect, getting things done as far as, this is concerned. But, like I said, you can catch him here Tuesday nights as soon as I get him. I've got a message from him. Hold on. Okay, he says, give me 5 minutes, and I'll call you. Sorry. Hey Kevin, we are already on the air. Hurry up. Alright, so he's asking for 5 minutes. I will be nice to him and give him 10. Not that I'm going to tell him that. I just told him to hurry up and get his butt on here. And, but the only thing that you won't hear on that radio show, by the way, is cursing. Because I'm still going to stick to that. Because if I have to curse, then I probably shouldn't be saying it on the air anyway. So, well, when people talk about soldiers dying and it being good, that's a good excuse for cursing. But if I can manage not to curse, then I can not curse now. So, anyway, by the way, has anyone heard about the ecstasy being used for PTSD? Give me a call. Give me your thoughts and pass that over. Get us at support at theptsdretreat.org, or you can Skype me a response, or you can just send it through the web page or Facebook. Let me know what you think, and we'll put it on here. Great. He's got to pee again. What is it with that man? He's like, oh, okay, gotta pee. He. Be right there. What a dork. Love the guy, but what a dork. I don't know how his wife puts up with him. Dearly is a wonderful woman. They've got a wonderful little boy who's going to be 2 soon. I think he's going to be 2. I gotta remember. But, or he is 2. Daniel is beautiful. He's such a cute kid. But that guy pees like a racehorse out there. I guess it's all the heat and all the water he's constantly drinking to stay hydrated. I swear that guy's like Niagara Falls. So anyway, we'll let him hurry up and catch up to us, and I'm going to go ahead and pause this, and I will get back to you guys in just a second. So if you want to go pee and go relieve yourself and grab a drink, and hopefully you're not driving anywhere, but and if you're dealing with PTSD, you're driving water, milk, juice, tea, coffee, Cokes, whatever. Just stay away from that alcohol, please. And if you are doing alcohol, make sure you're not going anywhere. So hurry up, take care of that. I'm gonna go take care of my things. Since he's peeing, I might as well go pee too. And he's calling. Of course, I mentioned I want to go pee, and that man calls in. Kevin.
Hey, Nicole.
Hey. Here I am telling people. You know what? Since Kevin's peeing, I might as well go pee too. I was like, go figure. I was just telling everybody, I'm like, take the next 5 minutes, go over, go take care, get a drink, get food, and be back in 5. And I will go do the same. And no sooner than I put that out of my mouth, you call in. So remind me to beat you later.
Okay, well, if you want to go do that, it looks like you've been talking to the folks for about 10 or 15 minutes in my absence. If you want to go take a little potty break.
I will leave you to actually handle this then. I'm going to leave you to handle this. And, folks, I'm going to leave Kevin with you guys. Tell him to behave. You know what? I'm here in the United States. My toilet flushes, thank you very much. And I am going to enjoy that flushing. I'll be right back. Folks, you've got Kevin Lake.
Okay. Good evening there in the U.S., folks. I guess it's about 8:15 on Tuesday evening. It is 9:15 a.m. on Wednesday morning here in the Philippines. On the other side of Earth, we're proving once again that time travel is possible because I'm talking to you last night, and you're taking a trip into the future about 13 hours on the East Coast. Be with Nicole and me here, and I see she's renamed the show Kevin and Nic-Two Whackos and Pie. Okay? I guess I'm partly to blame for that. She was talking about naming it Two Soldiers, and I just kind of said, why not name it Two Whackos and Pie? Let's talk about key lime pie. I guess she took that seriously. So I don't know what she's been talking to you about. Usually we talk about PTSD, the issues related with PTSD. We always want to make sure that we let the listeners know that PTSD is not just caused by combat or by military experiences. It can also be caused by other traumatic events such as rapes, car accidents, anything. And I'm not a professional. I am the furthest thing away from being a professional you will ever meet in your life. In anything I've ever done, I've always been as far away from the professionals who do those things as anyone you'd ever meet. Back when I was a stockbroker, I remember I had a lady investor who had a couple $100,000 invested with me. And we were having a meeting in my office one day, and I had my feet up on my desk, and I was still chewing tobacco in those days, and I had a big chew in, and we were talking about football or something, and she said, you're the most unprofessional stockbroker I could ever imagine having. I said, well, I'm sorry about that. And she said, well, no, don't apologize. That's why my money's invested with you. So here you get much of the same thing. I'm sitting here without my shirt. If I have to pee during our broadcast, I'll probably do so in an empty Gatorade bottle, a little habit I picked up while in Iraq that I still have not been able to kick. Fortunately, I've kicked other habits I picked up there, such as smoking. It's been 6 months since I've had a bag, and that's English for cigarette, by the way. Anyway, I hope you had a good holiday season, a good Christmas, and a good New Year. Glad to have you back with us here at the PTSD Retreat on Spreaker and YouTube. And Pie. I'd like to thank all of you who've read my book Off Switch, which addresses suicide at the hands of PTSD among our troops and vets. I'm late this morning, and I'm a little bit flustered because I've just been turned down by 3 major media outlets that has a reach of millions of people because the information in the book was not sent the way they like to send things to me. And somebody actually took the time to read the book and told me not important, but that I was actually a good writer. thank you for that. But however, they could not have their outlet associated with this book because the information isn't presented in such a way that they feel would be deemed in a good manner based upon their followers. But they said it was very real and very intense. So anyway, a little bit flustered about that, especially since just a few days ago I got word that someone, a friend of mine, who's, how do I say this? There's too many lawyers in America, so I have to be careful how I say this. They did not appear in my book as a character, but there is a character in my book whose persona was loosely based upon this person's persona. There, now I think that might keep me from being named in a lawsuit by any of their living heirs should they get word of this, and should my book actually become big enough someday that I make a couple real dollars off of it. So anyway, that was hard to take. You know, I met this person while journeying, not through the combat experiences I had, but while trying to overcome some of the PTSD, getting treatment for it. And we helped each other get through some dark periods. And I told her that she was going to have a little cameo appearance in the book. And not that I did or didn't use her real name, but for those of you who read the book, you'll remember there was a girl named Heather, who the main character, Corey Prime, meets in a lunatic asylum towards the end of the book, to kind of fill his head with some interesting information about how things are handled at the VA, how Agent Orange among the Vietnam veterans, even though they knew the information a generation ago, they withheld the information, waiting for tens of thousands of Vietnam veterans to die off before they started paying benefits due to issues associated with Agent Orange exposure, because it would have broken the bank otherwise. So it was that, Heather. And anyway, I see that you're back, Nicole. Give me just 30 seconds to wrap this up.
Have fun.
Okay. So anyway, this lady who I met through my own travels and journeys was dealing with PTSD and trying to fit back into American society after the war, which, by the way, I've had an epiphany. It wasn't that I couldn't. It's simply that American society didn't necessarily fit back in with me after the war. So anyway, this lady is no longer with us. She passed on about 6 weeks before the book came out, and she had her little cameo in it, but she never got to read it. But I'm happy to know that for me, and for those who will read the book and who hear this story, that my friend, who may or may not have been named Heather, but who was certainly, someone who got me through a dark period of my journey with PTSD, is no longer with us because of PTSD. And it just upsets me when I'm told by major media outlets who actually took the time to read my book and told me it was real and they enjoyed it, that they can't share it because the information isn't presented in the light in which they feel their followers would approve. Because PTSD does not present itself in reality in such a way that anyone would approve, and when someone takes their life because of it, I don't think anyone. And anytime you want to sugarcoat those facts, you are doing no one a favor, you're doing society as a whole a great injustice. You're living a lie. You are a sheeple. Okay, Nicole, welcome back from the screen. And you can now jump in here and save me. I've probably just pissed off half the free world.
I don't think so, but if you did say what I think you said, you just gonna go get yourself a bar of soap.
Oh, no, I didn't cuss, I don't think. No, I was just going off on a rant. I'm late this morning. I'm sorry for that, Nicole. I'm sorry, people. I slept in until 6 a.m. As we know, I usually get up at 4 because as a self-publishing writer, I also have to spend 5 to 6 hours a day promoting my own work. And I don't want to take the time away from my family doing that. I would take the time away from my other writing or from reading the other books. And I'm reading some good ones now by some other self-publishing authors. And I work 12 to 16 hours a day, but I slept until 6 a.m. this morning, so I got a late start, and then I was a little rankered. I was on the brink of having some exposure to about 5 million people. Whatever, it'll come. We'll do it, by God, 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 20,000 Facebook group members at a time who really do care about our veterans, our heroes, who care about PTSD and the suicide among those troops. We'll get the word out. It might take us a couple of years instead of a couple of weeks, but we'll do it because it's worth the fight. Everybody out there who's struggling, life is worth it. Listen, and like I just said, I mentioned, I love America. I love American society, but there were parts of it that I was not willing to blindly take back and own as my own once I got back from the Middle East. And I had a choice. Stay jacked up on 15,000 different medications, some of which were to offset the side effects of the others, and have periodic little visits to psych wards and lunatic asylums, and I wasn't going to do it. So I'm here on a little island in the South Pacific, and I'm enjoying life until I plug into the noise back home sometimes. That affects me. But once I'm off the air today, I'm going to jump on my motorcycle, but my mountain bike, and I'm going to go to the beach. And I'm going to breathe deeply and let the salt-filled air go into my lungs and cleanse my soul. And I'm not going to worry about it until I plug back into the noise back home again tomorrow. And guys, I keep plugging in, not because I want to keep relapsing back into my anger associated with PTSD, but because I'm trying to spread the message about some of these issues regarding PTSD and our veterans, because there's too many people back there. Every 80 seconds, people, every 1 minute and 20 seconds, a veteran from the wars in the Middle East will attempt to take their own life, okay? And some of them are being successful. We've lost more soldiers from the wars in the Middle East to suicide than we've lost on the battlefield. And the Department of Defense is not reporting the suicides within the National Guard and for the Army Reserves or Air Force Marine Reserves. They're only giving active duty numbers. So the real numbers might be perhaps twice as high as being reported. And there's some people who work in the machines who don't want that known, so they're not going to broadcast my book to the millions and the millions. So we're going to broadcast it here to the hundreds and thousands. And we know that you'll share that information with your hundreds and thousands. And the information will get out. Anyway, hello, Nicole. What do you want to talk about today?
You know what? I am in a kooky mood today. So,
must be something in the atmosphere.
You know what? I'm totally okay with that, because it's been one of those days where I have dealt with, big organization today, and was fighting it all day. And because this organization is working to fix their problem, I don't get to blast them tonight like I was planning to.
Well, if they don't fix it, blast them next week.
And that's exactly what I said. I said, if you guys can't fix it, I will make sure that every American soldier and every American family, thank you, honey. By the way, I am now eating my homemade mango ice cream that I made, a couple weeks ago. I took all my mangoes and turned it into ice cream because I like ice cream and I love mangoes, and my husband just brought me some up.
Hey, that's great. I had that mango float.
I know.
Yeah, dearly. I like that so much that dearly made that again 2 days ago, and it lasted all of 1 day. Yeah. Mango, that's something I rarely ate in the States. I don't know if I ever ate it there, but it's now my favorite fruit over here in the islands.
It took one of my Thai instructors to teach me about mangoes, but just how good they are in every which way.
Mm-hmm.
Mango ice cream, that's all I gotta tell you. Mm.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, totally bad form for me to eat this in front of you, but I'm enjoying it.
I just had breakfast, and I'm cool.
Good. Because otherwise I'd have to offer some to you, and then you'd have to politely decline because you can't have any.
No, I just can't reach through that screen. I have to jump on a plane and come 9,000 miles. By the time I got there, the mango would be spoiled.
And if you arrived without Dearly and Danielle and her mango float, you would be in serious trouble because you'd have to fly back and go get her.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's not happening.
So,
we talked last time. I know what it's like to not be able to be with the ones you love. And yeah. I'm in a position with him to be with them, and so I will not be apart from him.
I like that.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I could be with all my loved ones, but one of the most wrongfully spoken statements that a lot of people think is true is not, and that statement is, life is what you make it. I had a man who was 80 years old tell me years ago, and when I was a stockbroker, I worked mostly with retirees, and the benefit I got from that wasn't as much as what I learned about personal finance from being in that business, but from what I learned about life, from the people I got to work with. And I had a man about 80 years old tell me, you hear people say life is what you make it. That's not true. Life is what you, those who are in your life, make it. So that's why we've got to be careful about who we let in our lives.
Yes.
And so just throwing that out there.
Well, so I have been dealing with some really awesome people since you bring that up.
Yeah.
It's amazing what is happening. I'm getting to meet so many wonderful people. Just today I got confirmation from Melissa Mayer, who is, I don't know if you recall, over, was it November, there was a woman who, November or October, I remember the date was the 19th, but I don't remember whether it was November or October, who took her service dog into an establishment with her husband to have dinner with him. And it was, it's a place that, they happen to love eating, and da-da-da. They asked for a table in the back. And they were refused service because she didn't have an obvious injury. They actually said that to her. By the way, her service dog was for PTSD. And this woman and her husband were polite, everything, da-da-da. Now, I will say this. I'm not going to mention the restaurant name because this restaurant guy actually did give a public apology back to her for the waitress, the hostess, and the manager telling her that it was not okay because she didn't have an obvious injury. And anyway, she's actually going to be on here, and we're going to discuss about how service dogs are so important for individuals with PTSD. Because one of the big issues, that I see is that the VA is not going to pay for service animals for those with PTSD. But hey, right now we have studies on how ecstasy can work for PTSD as a treatment.
Exactly. You mentioned that last time. It looks like in Canada,
Mm-hmm.
they're using ecstasy to treat people with PTSD.
Obviously, it still bugs me. To me, that is an epic fail.
Let me give a shout out to my friend Kenny Bass. I'm giving you a shout out now, brother. Kenny Bass is a Marine veteran from the wars in the Middle East,
Mm-hmm.
and he had to wait in line for a service dog. You're talking about service dogs and how
Mm-hmm.
much they're helping people. Well, this guy got a service dog too, but it took him something like a year to get one.
Yep.
And like you and I, Nicole, who's saying to hell with the establishment. I mean, we'll take anything they'll give us, but we're not sitting around waiting on it. We're going out there and trying to help people ourselves. Kenny started a Facebook. Well, he started a group, and he's helping provide service dogs for veterans with PTSD. He's got a group on Facebook called Battle Buddy. Now, there's two Battle Buddy groups. One, they're both good. I belong to both of them. But he's also got a website, battlebuddy.org. Kenny has taken it upon himself to say, you know what? Service dogs work. They work for me. I got my Battle Buddy. And he's not waiting for big government or big establishment to help other veterans. He's doing it himself.
Awesome.
501c not-for-profit licensing.
Mm-hmm.
And he's helping veterans with PTSD get dogs. And that's better than ecstasy, getting them ecstasy, or getting them whatever Pfizer Pharmaceutical or
Whoever the big companies are.
Island Laboratories, any of those. I used to sell their stocks. I'm probably going to burn in hell for that when I die because I used to help increase their profits. But, it's better to pump out the latest X drug of the day, get people addicted to that. And these drugs, most of them have the same side effects as the PTSD symptoms, such as suicidal tendencies, hallucinations, nightmares, insomnia, but hey, I guess Pfizer Pharmaceutical and the big drug companies, they can't profit and carry a copyright on an animal yet. Now, during the 90s, they came very close to being able to do that. I don't know if you've ever read any of Michael Crichton's novels.
Oh, I loved Michael Crichton.
Oh, he's dead now. He died of throat cancer a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
The man was a genius. He had a medical degree, but he never went into medicine. He was the writer of the ER show. Everybody likes that show, ER.
Mm-hmm.
He was the creator of that, and he wrote about 20 books. Jurassic Park is probably his most famous Congo. But he really followed the biotech companies and what they were doing in the 90s. And those companies actually got very, very, very close to owning the DNA makeup of human beings. So where, people were doing these studies, voluntarily giving up their blood or their tissue for research. And these corporations were actually putting copyrights on your DNA. so that if you were to, legally you would not be allowed to donate kidneys or whatever. But anyway, he would cover off on that, and I don't think they were successful on that. But yeah, if those companies could copyright animals to treat PTSD and profit from it, they probably would.
Hey, let them genetically modify.
Aren't they doing that with rice now or something in the States?
You obviously have not heard the most recent episodes of on the show lately, because that's exactly something we actually been talking about with Jurian Plesman and Pam Colleen. That's something that's been really bugging me. Because did you know that it is illegal to treat cancer with all natural products, like, Whole Foods? And it's illegal for me to want to have that, go out and buy raw milk or sell it, or just distribute it. Oh, yeah. I'm in the wonderful state of Maryland, and these are things that are going on, and right now, we're actually doing a story right now that I'm actually following. It's Mark Baker with Baker's Green Acres. We have a series going on with them, and once a month we're going to actually be contacting them and staying in contact with them as they go through their whole livestock being killed off. Because, yeah. And I went over to
an agency that watch groups to make sure people aren't treating cancer naturally. Did they come in and kill their livestock?
This is actually DNR. It's through DNR. And the state of Michigan and the USDA, and all of them are all actually involved. And I'm probably mixing up all my facts, folks, so I will go back and I'll read it to you next time. But I actually went to the state of Michigan's website, to their Department of Agriculture, and read about the feral pigs issue. And it is so vague that basically any pig could be taken. Any pig, whether they're, pink, white, it's basically left it wide open for them to do anything they want. And that is how it is written. If you look at it, that is how it is written. And when I finally get around to catching up with all the videos I need to make, once my computer's all fixed and everything again, I'm actually going to do a print screen of that article and put it in there so people can see for themselves. This is not a conspiracy. And by the way, just so you know, Kevin, this guy's a 20-year decorated veteran with 2 wars underneath his belt.
Wow. So he's one of the heroes that fought to keep our freedoms, yet he's not allowed to enjoy those freedoms.
Yeah.
He doesn't own the copyright. That's exactly what Michael Crichton was bringing out in his novels during the 1990s.
Mm-hmm.
These corporations were putting copyrights on future uses that may come about of certain research. If there were, like, the big universities were the biggest culprits. The pharmaceutical companies, biotech firms are in bed heavily. I mean, they're having these orgies, sorry to use that word, with a lot of these universities like Berkeley in California. They are copywriting future discoveries of certain aspects of DNA use, of genetic bioengineering, so that if 10 years from now somebody discovers a cure for AIDS or for cancer or a way to make the blind see by the use of maybe this certain particular strand of DNA, well, hey, this big pharmaceutical company, they already they own the patent or the copyright to that specific strand of DNA. Well, guess what? Either you can't use that, or if it is used, they'll be the ones to use what you discovered through your research, and they will be the ones to profit from it, and you will not be allowed to do so. And this, like you said, Nicole, this is not a conspiracy. This is a fact. These are the facts that aren't reported to the people through the mainstream media because it's hard to bend this information the way in which they want it bent to meet their agenda.
Yeah. But, Kevin, this is not a political show. So, but what I will say that it is causing stress on that family. This is causing a great deal amount of the stress. I actually got to talk to one of his kids. He's 14. And Sam was just an amazing, amazing kid with a great head on his shoulder. This kid is going places. Kevin, go back and listen to that episode. It was done on Sunday, which is unusual. It's the Baker's Green Acres. Okay. And I'm telling you.
Today, while I'm marketing for 18 hours.
There you go. This kid is thoroughly involved in the family business. The whole family is. They have 8 kids, and the whole family's involved, and they will all be affected if this goes away. And I really hope that they win. They're suing the state on this one, and I really hope they win, because it's not okay for someone to cause stress like that. We're talking about American family, American kids that are having to go through something. Guns should never be drawn in the circumstances like this, because there's other farmers that are actually having raids done. He is experiencing memories being brought back because of the guys that are actually entering their property in the middle of the night. From a PTSD standpoint, it's wrong.
Right. So these kids who live on these farms and have these farm animals, during the middle of the night, people are coming in and killing their livestock.
Coming in with flashlights and sneaking around on the property to try and collect evidence.
Okay. Because this livestock is being raised to be able to distribute whole food type dietary products, stuff that's not genetically engineered.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
That sounds like it sums it up.
Huh. Well,
I'm going to do more research on this, because as a soldier and as an individual who cares about people and about health, and the fact that there's a lot of evidence growing that shows that, we are affected by everything that goes into our body, no matter what, how it enters us. I'm doing this series on the 6 senses of PTSD. It disturbs me that things are being done to keep individuals from getting to what could potentially bring about positive change for individuals with PTSD.
Well, it's like something I put on my Facebook a while back. I saw a picture of the she with bandana mask. He's holding a banner, and it said, "Pharmaceutical companies are not out to create cures; they are out to create customers."
I know, I saw that.
I shared that too. I mean, it's a simple fact. I mean, who is in the business of putting themselves out of business? They say they don't make things the way they used to in America. You used to be able to buy a shovel and it would last a lifetime. If it didn't, Sears would allow you to return it and exchange it free of charge. Well, now they make shovels out of plastic and substandard metal, so every 3 or 4 years, if you're using your shovel, you got to buy a new one. And it's not because the good steel disappeared, it's because the corporations realized, wow, if we sell them something that lasts a lifetime, they're not going to come back and buy another one. We just lost a customer. We better make sure they come back a few years later to replace that product. And I'm not anti-corporation. I'm not anti-profit. I believe, one of the things that makes America great, the biggest thing that makes America great is Americans themselves, people.
Yeah.
But American business, the concept of it, the right to own and operate a business and make a profit to feed your family and provide other people with jobs, I am all for that. It's being heavily regulated now, but the concept of screwing over your customers just so you make more money off of them again later, that's not. That doesn't sit well with me. I'm a writer. I make money when people buy my books.
Yeah.
But I don't go back and reissue a second version, then a third revised edition, and then the fourth, we've added some French to this. Go through the characters of French. No. I write a new book. It takes me a year to do it, or a year and a half, but I write another book. And the people that read my last book, if they liked it, they come back and they get the new one. And that's how it goes. I don't know. Hey, I'm crazy. I'm the one that's been labeled crazy and was given a fistful of pills for my craziness. Now, again, as we mentioned, and it's in the book also, which I'm not on those pills. It's been about a year now. And, yeah, I'm a little manic, and I just finished my morning coffee because it's morning here, but I don't care, man. I feel good and I'm happy.
Okay, I got to share something with you.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, this is absolutely hilarious what I'm about to share. So I found on the Facebook, I was going through, I like to check up on those who come to the Facebook page and just see where they're sitting, to see if they're doing any better, and so on and so forth. Well, one of the guys I checked on had on their page, it said something along the lines of, today's one of those days where you should just fill up the sink with coffee and stick your head in and suck. And I was saying, this morning this is going to be one of those days, because yesterday I was awakened because This is way before 8 in the morning. I'm not a morning person. Just, I've been putting jokes out about that as well because I'm up late at night. I'm talking to wackos over in Philippines.
I see you online when it's like 3 or 4 a.m. there.
Yeah, but that's when there's a lot of people online that are looking for something to encourage them and keep them going. There's a lot of insomniacs are on who have PTSD.
Yeah, what do you feel with people with PTSD? And Nicole, I shared the link just 2 days ago to the PTSD retreat on my Facebook wall, and I see that 25 of my friends shared it further from there. And thank you for doing that, guys, those of you who shared that. And keep your train of thought there. I just wanted to point out that no matter what time of day or night it is, people, there's help out there. Contact the PTSD retreat. Okay, no, continue, please.
Okay, I'll give a belated thank you so much. Yeah, but crap, now I forgot my train of thought. What was I saying?
3 or 4 in the morning.
Oh.
You were talking about a guy that had filled his sink with the coffee or said he should.
Anyway, so in the morning, I got a call from my neighbor going, Nick, there's someone on your property. And they're going into your dump truck. Now, I got to share this story. Now that it's been a few months, I can actually share why the dump truck is parked on the side of the hill at a really crazy angle. We bought this dump truck. And I told my husband, now, this is the type of sarcastic wit that's in my house. I should have known better because he's been like this our whole relationship, but I didn't even think about it. Said, you are not allowed to put that truck, that big gigantic dump truck, on my driveway or on my lawn. Because the front yard's mine and the backyard's his, is basically how I was treating it. Because I wanted to have a typical, ooh, pretty, here's a curb house, pretty curb, pretty front yard. And everything that could happen has happened to that lawn. But I was like, no, I am not having that dump truck on the front lawn. Do you know that man said, okay, took it off the drive. Now, we have a very steep driveway. In 2009, we used it as a bobsled run. That's how steep it is, and the neighborhood kids loved it. He took it off that very steep driveway and put it on the side of the driveway in the trees. So now it sits at this 45-degree angle and is the first thing that every person sees coming to my house. Is this stinking dump truck. And it is now permanently wedged in that spot, and we actually have to pull a tow truck to get it out. So he said there was people over the house that were messing with my dump truck and were on the property and opening the hood of it and so forth. So I had to call the cops, and the cops had to call me back twice. Yeah. And of course the cops I will say this, the cops moved as quickly as they could. We have really awesome cops over in Chesapeake Beach. You guys, if you want to move somewhere with great cops, move to Chesapeake Beach. But apparently these guys had their ears start turning red because they were gone by the time the cops got there, which, by the way, is about 2 minutes. And, yeah, but there was nothing like being awakened for just idiocy. Why do you enter somebody's property?
What night? This was months ago, you said?
No, this is yesterday morning.
I wonder if it might be the same people sneaking around at night with flashlights over at those farmers' places. Seriously, man, there might be a mole. They might know that you're getting word out about their activities, making sure people aren't eating non-genetically engineered foods.
Oh, they already know, because they actually have, they said that people have gone to their farm, have been, they know who they are, they have people watching their farm in little black cars, parked on the side with binoculars hanging out, and, so most likely...
Breaking the law for growing whole foods. Is that just part of it? I don't want to be starting a rumor here. Wasn't there more of it to that, or is it...
There's a lot of things happening across the country. Farmers are losing their livestock that are growing whole foods that are free range, and even private co-ops are having the same issues. And there's raids. Like there's another woman who was describing how if you go watch Farmageddon,
I've never seen that.
You can go to Netflix and see it. It's online, and I think they have bits of it on YouTube as well. It will blow your mind what's going on right now in the United States, Kevin.
Really?
Oh, as a soldier, it is going to warp Your mind. Well, never mind. I don't want to warp your mind further, but it will totally mess your mind.
I love America, and I didn't leave here. I did not come to live in the Philippines because I do not like America. I love America, and if you were to be attacked today by a foreign enemy, I would be on the next shipping vessel to go back there to pick up my gun. Yes, I say gun. To attack my homeland in the face. Okay? And when they fell, I shoot the next one in the face. I'm living in the Philippine Islands because, for me, this is where I need to be for now. I had to turn off the noise. There's a lot of noise back there in America. And I intentionally don't listen to it because it doesn't do me any good. It makes me angry. So, but Nicole, I can listen to the noise that you're passing on to me here for a couple hours every week. So you're telling me that the whole food farmers, the natural food people, are under attack in America because they're not genetically engineering their food. But how are they?
And it's not the big corporations; it's the small farmers. It's the
Small farmers who are under attack.
yeah. It's not like the big.
The big ones are genetically engineering their food to get the money associated with doing so.
It just.
The small guys that are looking out for the other small guys and girls that are always under attack, right?
It just bugs me. I mean,
How are they? What is the scare tactics that the establishment is using?
You're breaking the law. For this family that's over in Michigan, I think it's bakersgreenacres.com, and you can actually find out exactly where they're at. I believe it's Michigan. This family, they're saying that they're growing feral pigs. And this family's been feral pigs, but the definition of
domestically breeding a wild animal.
that's what they're saying. And that they're saying it's because these pigs could go feral. You know what? Any animal in the United States that is domesticated has the ability of going feral. Hello, cats, dogs.
Exactly. I was just thinking, I have 2 feral cats that live in my garage when I forget to close the door at night.
Yeah, one of the definitions on there was if it's like basically fur colors or hair. Hogs, do you know hogs have under fur, like under hair, like little short under hairs?
Well, unfortunately, one of the things I've learned a lot about since coming to the Philippines is pigs. So yes, I did know that. I was a pig farmer for a few months. So I realized that they play musical pigs at night here. People will steal your pigs at night and call it their pig. And this is sick. This is one of the dark sides of the Philippines. The way people make sure to mark their pig is they will take a razor blade and carve their name on that pig. And they do it deep enough to where if the pig is roasted, you can still see the scars showing up through the cooking skin. And once I saw that was my option, if I wanted to make sure my pigs no longer got stolen, I got out of the pig farming business.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, so I know a little bit about pigs and their little under hair.
Okay, well, then let me go back to it, because they're saying, like, if they're black and white, if they're, they had a list of all these different colors, red and and if their tail is straight.
Yeah.
And I'm like, are you kidding me? And and then they said, based on the length of their tail, but they don't give the length. Based on their spine, the length of their spine, but they don't give a length. All these different things, but they're not telling you what those lengths are, what those measurements are. And then they said, and just it's like basically miscellaneous other things that, again, are not listed. So they're saying basically for any reason they can go in there. It's like Utah's, not Utah's, it's like Maryland. We have a speed limit that's extremely low here. It's 55.
Like 50?
Yeah, 55 and 50, 45 that's the area, that's our general limit here. And so it's basically saying the cops can, and everybody here does 60, 65, and the cops know it, they do it too, but it's the fact that they can pull over anybody at any time. And now I will say this, I'm not against that at all, because it actually works, especially if there's people drinking and driving. Totally cool with that. But I mean, it's the same thing, but it's being done with animals, and that's just not okay. It's not okay to use it in that manner. And I don't know why I'm splitting hairs as strongly as I am. It just really, really bugs me that someone can tell me what I can and cannot eat, when people can go and smoke and blow, smoke in my face and give me bronchitis, and it's legal for them to do so. But I can't go get raw milk, which is now showing, has always shown, that it's actually doing good things for the body just because it's unknown. Sorry, that doesn't work for me. And I probably shouldn't be so vocal about it, but I am. As a soldier, health is really important, and I'm fighting to get.
Guess what? You not only fought to give everybody else the right to be vocal about these issues, you fought to give yourself the right to be vocal about these issues.
Yeah.
And this is something I forget a lot. I mean, a lot of people, sometimes I really, Nicole, we talked last time. I'm really trying to be positive this year because we become our thoughts. And I'm going to be sending positive vibes into the atmosphere. And because that's what the universe will give you back. If you're projecting positivism, you're going to get it back. And if you're giving negativism, you're going to get it back. So I've learned to be very careful about that. But sometimes people will say things to me as if I didn't have the right to say it. And somebody told me recently on Facebook, and this was months ago, and I chuckled, and I didn't respond. I took the high road. But I was talking about some of the things that frustrated me in society back there. Not the kind